A pleasant day to each and everyone, especially to you, Mom. I am Marimar Oclida and I'm going to report now the chapter 6, which is entitled The Tourism Public Sector. So, here are learning objectives. In this chapter, we will be able to identify the various government agencies involved in the development and promotion of the tourism industry as well as their functions. Second, describe the relationships of these agencies with one another. And lastly is to explain the possibility of public service as a career in the industry. So let's start. It was during the year 1973 when the Philippine government realized that there is a need to realign government efforts toward trade promotion and tourism development for greater effectiveness, hence, the need for the government's immediate and priority attention. This gave rise to Presidential Decree Number 189, creating creating the Department of Tourism, which was enacted to make the tourism industry a positive instrument towards accelerated national development, through which more people from other countries may visit and better appreciate the country, and through which the Filipinos themselves may learn more about the natural beauty, history, and culture of the Philippines and thus develop greater pride in and commitment to the nation. So, this chapter deals with particular government agencies directly involved in the promotion of to this chapter deals three. Several allied government agencies may also be included in this chapter, as these agencies, though not directly involved in the promotion of tourism, tend to provide a substantial contribution to the efficient operation of the tourism industry. And let's start on the Department of Tourism. The Department of Tourism was created by virtue of Presidential Decree Number 189, and it is the primary policy making, planning, programming, coordinating, and administrative entity of the executive branch of government in the development of the tourism industry, both domestic and international. So, next is the Philippine Tourism Authority. According to Presidential Decree 564 on October 2, 1974, it was enacted revising the Charter of the Philippine Tourism Authority, which was originally created under Presidential Decree Number 189, dated May 11, 1973. Strengthening the Philippine Tourism Authority was needed in order to be in a better position to effectively unify and integrate related activities and services of both government and private entities pertaining to tourism development projects. And we have also the Intramuros Administration. For 400 years, Intramuros has been a priceless heritage of the past for the city of Manila and a major historical landmark of the Philippines. In order to preserve and enhance the historical value of Intramuros, a national historical consciousness program demands its restoration, development, and maintenance, and for this purpose. Hence, Presidential Decree Number 1616 on April 10, 1979, creating the Intramuros Administration was created charged with such vital role and responsibility. The Intramuros Administration shall be responsible for the orderly restoration and development of Intramuros as a monument to the Hispanic period of Philippine history. It shall also ensure that the general appearance of Intramuros shall conform to Philippine Spanish architecture of the 16th to 19th century. And we have also the other government agencies. First, we have the National Parks Development Committee, or the NPDC. It was created originally as an executive committee on January 14, 1963, for the development of the Quezon Memorial, Luneta, and other national parks. It was later designated as the National Parks Development Committee, despite an attempt to transfer it to the Bureau of Forest Development Department of Natural Resources, the NPDC has remained under the office of the President. We have also here the National Historical Institute. Its functions is to provide research services to the public through the maintenance of National Data Bank and Resource Center, administration and maintenance of national shrines and landmarks in order to perpetuate the memory and emulate the patriotic deeds of our heroes. Its functions also is to conduct of historical educational activities such as lectures, seminars, exhibits, workshops, patriotic tours, video showing, historic cultural contests, and learning sessions in accordance with the Philippine Cultural Education Plan. The main function of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or the NCCA, is to formulate and implement policies and plans that will conserve and promote the nation's historical and cultural heritage. Next is the Philippine Convention and Visitors Corporation. It is a non-profit government corporation attached to the Philippine Department of Tourism, tasked with promoting the Philippines as an ideal tourism, convention, and incentive travel destination. So to continue, we have here another public sector, which is the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. In Presidential Decree Number 520, issued on July 23, 1974, empowers the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, formerly Central Bank of the Philippines, to organize a corporation which will manage and administer the Philippine International Convention Center. Next is the National Economic Development Authority, or the NEDA. It is the country's independent economic development and planning agency. It is headed by the President as chairman of the NEDA board, with the Secretary of Socio-Economic Planning, concurrently NEDA Director General as vice chairman. All cabinet members as well as the central bank governor are members of the NEDA board. The National Economic Government the National Economic Development Authority was created in pursuance of the goals of promoting the economic and social development and stability of the country. The NEDA may, in the discharge of its duties and functions, call upon any private person or representative of the private sector for such views or advice as may be pertinent to any matter under its consideration. So next is the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DENR. As provided under Section 4 of Executive Order 192, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources is mandated to be the primary government agency responsible for the conservation, management, development, and proper use of the country's environment and natural resources, including those in reservations, watershed areas, and lands of the public domain, as well as the licensing, utilization, and regulation of all natural resources as may be provided by law in order to ensure equitable sharing of the benefits derived therefrom for the welfare of the present and future generations of Filipinos. Then we have also the Department of Labor and Employment. The DOLE is the national government agency mandated to formulate policies, implement programs, and serve as the policy coordinating arm of the executive branch in the field of labor and employment. The DOLE promotes gainful employment opportunities and optimizes the development and utilization of the country's manpower resources. DOLE's functions and responsibilities include regulating the labor market, facilitating the resolution of labor disputes, and providing social protection to workers. Next, if we have the DOLE, then we have also the Department of Public Works and Highways, or the DPWH. Its functions as the engineering and construction arm of the government tasked to continuously develop its technology for the purpose of ensuring the safety of all infrastructure facilities and securing for all public works and highways the highest efficiency and quality in construction. The DPWH is currently responsible for the planning, designing, construction, and maintenance of infrastructure, especially the national highways, flood control and water resources development system, and other public works in accordance with national development objectives. The work of DPWH is very important, especially in providing land access to tourist destinations, sites, and service facilities. Then we have the Department of Transportation and Communication, or the DOTC. It is the primary policy, planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, regulating, and administrative entity of the executive branch of the government in the promotion, development, and regulation of dependable and coordinated networks of transportation and communication systems, as well as in the fast, safe, efficient, and reliable postal, transportation, and communication services. So the following are the attached agencies of the DOTC. First is the Land Transportation Office, or the LTO. The Land Transportation Office is the proper agency who controls the registration and operation of motor vehicles and the licensing of owners, dealers, conductors, drivers, and similar matters. Next, agencies attached to DOTC is the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or what we called as the LTFRB. The LTFRB is the agency which issues, amends, revises, suspends, or cancels certificates of public convenience or permits authorizing the operation of public land transportation services provided by motorized vehicles and to prescribe the appropriate terms and conditions. Next is the Maritime Industry Authority, or the MARINA, which integrates the development, promotion, and regulation of the maritime industry in the country. It was originally placed under the office of the President. We have also the Air Transportation Office, or the ATO, which is primarily charged with the technical and operational phase of civil aviation matters. Its primary function is to establish and enforce rules and regulations for the inspection and registration of all aircraft owned and operated in the Philippines and all air facilities. It is also in charge in the operation and maintenance of national airports, air navigation, and other similar facilities. Next is the Civil Aeronautics Board. The Civil Aeronautics Board regulates the economic aspect of air transportation and has general supervision and regulation of and jurisdiction and control over air carriers as well as their property rights, equipment, facilities, and franchise. It also has the power to issue, deny, amend, revise, alter, modify, cancel, suspend, or revoke any temporary permit or certificate of public convenience and necessity. We have also here the Light Rail Transit Authority, or the LRTA. This is a corporate body which shall be primarily responsible for the construction, operation, maintenance, and or lease of light rail transit systems in the Philippines, giving due regard to the reasonable requirements of the public transportation system of the country. We have also the Metro Rail Transit Corporation and the Philippine National Railways. So moving on, we have the next public government sector in tourism industry. We have the Department of Trade and Industry, or the DTI, under Executive Order 133, which remains effective up to the present time. The Department of Trade and Industry serve as the primary coordinative, promotive, and facilitative arm for trade, industry, and investment activities. It acts as the catalyst for intensified private sector activity to accelerate and sustain economic growth. The end goal is to grow and expand Philippine trade and industry as the means to generate jobs and raise. Next is the Department of Foreign Affairs. The Department of Foreign Affairs is the prime agency of government responsible for the pursuit of the state's foreign policy and the nerve center for a foreign service worthy of the trust and pride of every Filipino. The history of the Republic of the Philippines and that of the DFA are intertwined, and it is difficult to discuss the important events marking the passage of the years at the department without somehow anchoring this to the rise of the Philippines as an independent nation. Those all public tourism sectors plays a crucial role in the tourism and hospitality industry by providing infrastructure, promoting destinations, and regulating industry standards. Government involvement ensures the development of tourist friendly facilities, maintains safety standards, and enhances overall visitor experiences. Additionally, public tourism agencies contribute to marketing efforts, fostering economic growth and sustainability within the industry. So that's all for the chapter 6. I hope you have learned something. And thank you for listening.